The financial world is on fire with breaking news that is reverberating across global markets. In a stunning development, sources close to international banking networks have confirmed that the long-anticipated revaluation of the Iraqi dinar has been finalized. As of today, the new rate has been locked in at an astonishing $6.44 per IQD, a monumental leap that is already sending shockwaves through currency exchange platforms, central bank reserves, and private redemption channels across the globe. This isn't just a change in numbers, it is a seismic monetary shift that is now in motion, and bank redemptions have officially begun. The long wait is over. Redemption centers are live. The green light has been given. For years, investors, financial analysts, and sovereign wealth strategists have been watching Iraq's economic indicators, oil output, legislative reforms, and international negotiations with laser precision. Quiet accumulations of IQD by private entities and sovereign institutions have raised eyebrows time and again. Now, all speculation has culminated into one extraordinary reality. The dinar, long held as a speculative investment, is now backed by hard figures and a finalized rate that positions it among the strongest performing currencies in the world. The $6.44 rate isn't just a number. It is a message of wealth transfer, a recalibration of economic power, and a new financial era for Iraq and for those holding the currency. Inside banking circles, confidential memos and encrypted alerts were distributed early this morning to regional branches and redemption centers. Staff have been briefed, systems have been updated, and transaction logs are now showing live redemptions being processed. From Zurich to Dubai, from New York to Hong Kong, redemption activity is accelerating with clockwork precision. Special high-security accounts have been prepared in advance, and those who have been vetted through KYC protocols are now being contacted in scheduled waves. This is not a drill. This is not a test. The process has officially moved from preparation to execution. Individuals who have held onto Iraqi dinar for years, even decades, are now witnessing what could be the most profitable currency event in modern financial history. Early reports from Tier 1 banks indicate that high-net-worth clients with verified IQD holdings have already begun the redemption process under tightly managed NDA agreements. These agreements, though strict, are being used to maintain operational security during what is being described internally as an extreme liquidity transfer event. Confidentiality remains critical as large sums are being moved and recalculated in real time. Vaults are opening, funds are being dispersed, and legacy wealth is being created. This sudden valuation spike is not random. It follows a long, intricate process of Iraq positioning itself economically and diplomatically for a reset of its global financial status. Recent oil deals, strengthened geopolitical alliances, and behind-the-scenes cooperation with global financial institutions have all led to this point. Iraq has completed its IMF-mandated reforms, stabilized its monetary policy, and harmonized its trade agreements. The country's central bank has worked tirelessly with international auditors and digital systems integration teams to ensure the switch could be made with minimal disruption. And today, it happened. Markets are reacting quickly. Forex trading platforms are experiencing an overwhelming influx of volume. Temporary halts have been initiated in some exchanges to prevent market manipulation and volatility spikes. Central banks are adjusting their foreign reserve positions even as we speak. And while the news is still spreading, those who are plugged into elite financial networks are already moving fast. Legal teams, wealth management firms, and private banking consultants are being summoned to oversee the sudden liquidity events that are taking place behind closed doors. The new rate has been verified through multi-bank confirmations. It is no longer speculation. It is confirmed. Redemption rates are being honored and reflect the $6.44 valuation across Tier 1 and Tier 2 financial institutions, depending on compliance documentation and historical verification. Those with pre-registered appointments are being prioritized, but the rollout will continue to widen in scope over the coming days. Security remains tight, and all transactions are being closely monitored to avoid fraud, impersonation, or laundering risks. Bank officials have reiterated that only verified holders with complete documentation will be allowed to process their redemptions. This ensures a controlled, legitimate transition and avoids any unnecessary panic or operational overload. The ripple effect of this announcement is expected to be massive. Real estate markets, crypto assets, and luxury commodities are already seeing movement in anticipation of newly created wealth entering circulation. Wealth advisors are warning clients to act wisely and consult professionals before making sudden financial decisions. With new wealth comes new responsibility, and the institutions processing these transactions are doing so under the highest levels of oversight. Inside Iraq, celebrations have already begun among those who have long believed in their nation's resurgence. Government officials have yet to make a full public statement, but internal communications from Iraq's Ministry of Finance confirm that the revaluation is tied directly to recent oil settlement contracts and a multilateral sovereign fund that has been under quiet development for several quarters. This fund will reportedly ensure continued stability of the new rate while also investing in domestic infrastructure, social programs, and foreign partnerships. The revaluation is not just a financial maneuver. It is a cornerstone of Iraq's future economic vision. Meanwhile, in the United States and Europe, private wealth managers are being inundated with calls from clients seeking to confirm if their banks are participating in the redemption process. Many of these institutions have established quiet, high-security rooms for in-person redemptions and have assigned specific officers to oversee the transactions. While these facilities are not open to the public, those with prior authorization are being walked through the process step by step. Those without appointments are being advised to wait until the initial surge is processed to avoid delays or security concerns. In terms of logistics, the redemption protocols vary by region. In some countries, mobile banking units have been dispatched to handle high-volume clients discreetly. In others, armored transport teams are actively retrieving physical notes from secure storage facilities and delivering them directly to bank verification zones. The entire process is running with military-like precision, and no detail is being overlooked. Security clearances, biometric scans, authentication codes, and live surveillance are all in play. This financial moment will likely be studied for years to come. It marks a significant shift not only in global currency valuation but also in the strategic power of emerging nations. Iraq's rise as a financial player was underestimated by many, but the current revaluation proves that patience, reform, and sovereignty can change the economic narrative of an entire region. The $6.44 rate is not symbolic. It is strategic. It sets a new benchmark that could redefine currency investment models and central bank strategies moving forward. Investors are being urged to remain calm, follow their scheduled instructions, and not act on impulse. There are reports of opportunistic scams and misinformation circulating online, and individuals should be vigilant about who they communicate with regarding their IQD holdings. Only trusted legal and financial professionals should be consulted during this sensitive time. Bank representatives have warned that any attempt to bypass official channels or submit unverified currency will result in immediate rejection and possible legal consequences. It is important to understand that while this event is historic, it is also structured. This is not a lottery. This is not chaos. This is an orchestrated revaluation of national currency backed by both commodity assets and strategic international alliances. Every step has been planned. Every outcome has been modeled. This is the culmination of years of preparation, not a random event. As the hours progress, more redemption centers are expected to go fully active. Wave 2 and Wave 3 clients are already receiving alerts for appointment confirmations. High-priority cases involving estate transfers, trust accounts, and generational wealth conversions are being escalated through VIP service channels. Banks are operating extended hours to accommodate the surge, with some deploying additional staff to manage the volume of paperwork, verification protocols, and client consultations. No effort is being spared to ensure this rollout is smooth and secure. To those watching from the outside, this might appear surreal. A currency long considered speculative has now stepped into the spotlight as a major financial force. But to those who have been watching the signals, reading between the lines, and preparing quietly behind the scenes, this is the moment they always knew was coming. A revaluation at $6.44 isn't just a number, it's a financial pivot point. And now that it's real, the world will have no choice but to adjust. While the broader media has yet to fully catch up with the magnitude of this story, insiders know that this is just the beginning. The ripple effects will touch every sector of global finance, from debt restructuring and asset-backed securities to cross-border trade agreements and national budget reallocations. Iraq is no longer in waiting mode. It has arrived, and the world is watching. In closing, we want to emphasize that although this news is based on confirmed developments from multiple financial tiers, all processes remain subject to change depending on regulatory shifts, compliance updates, and international banking directives. As always, this is a fluid situation. But for now, the verdict is clear. The IQD rate has been finalized at $6.44, and bank redemptions have officially started. The future has just arrived.